All right, everyone. I have the pleasure of bringing up my next speaker, and I am so excited about having Suzanne Butler here with us. And she is a feng shui practitioner, and it's a little bit different compared to what we really understand about feng shui. She has a unique way of being able to apply it to your business and how that can really transfer the energy within your office and everything surrounding you and how that can actually unlock dollars. So you guys, are you ready to listen to all the great things that Suzanne is going to bring to us today? And I just want to get us ready to get started in this whole conversation. And now we're going to bring up Suzanne. How are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you, Sasha.
You're so welcome. Thank you for being here. And, we were together for the Biz Her Way Summit, and I just had to bring you back. And for National Entrepreneurship Month, there's another way of closing out the 2024 year, getting ready to go fresh into 2025. And I know a lot of times for January is always about the new year, new you, and everything. So let's talk about how we can, as business owners, can really apply feng shui in our new year and closing out this year. So before we get there, just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the feng shui practice.
Yeah, so I've been using feng shui for myself for 10 years. And then 4 years ago, after my amazing successes with what it's brought me, I became a little bit obsessed. And I decided to get myself certified so I could use the magic for other people. And boy, has it paid off, because the success of a number of my clients and what they've brought in just astounds me. So if it astounds me, like, this is why I keep doing it, because it's so magic. So when I first got into feng shui all those years ago, my life was pretty dire. I was in a very dire situation. There was a lot of illness. There was a lot of money problems. Anything that could go wrong was going wrong. And it didn't matter what I tried, nothing was working. And then I discovered feng shui in a Facebook group. And from there, I knew that I had to give it a go, and it was the last thing I could try. And it paid off, because within days, money started rolling in. It ended a toxic relationship. And it set me on a path now to where I literally am living the life that I want, because everyone has their own desires. What I want might not be what you want, but I'm actually living the life that I desire, and living a life of freedom. And that for me was so, so important, because I was so sick of being told what I should and shouldn't do. And now I live a life of peace. I have the money that I want coming in. And I've built a beautiful community of female entrepreneurs that are slowly starting to create a magic vision for their life and what they want to bring in. Because without that, you can't make anything happen.
Yeah, wow. Before I really dive into more questions, 'cause I really think this is so interesting, and that's why I said we had to bring you back. But you're also a mindset and empowerment expert.
Yeah.
Now, with what you're doing with feng shui and applying it to, your surroundings, your environment, how much more greater is that mindset piece along with the feng shui? Is there like some people have to get into that right mindset, but then also within them, but then setting the energy around them in the proper position through feng shui? Like, how does it collaborate together?
Well, you've got your mind, body, and spirit, right? And they're the basic three pillars that everybody has to work on in their life. And if you don't, something's going to fall over. And you can have all the money in your world. Like, they say that money doesn't buy you happiness. For people that doesn't buy happiness, it's because they've got everything and haven't worked anything, but aren't living their true purpose. So we need to really switch. Nothing is about money. Nothing is ever about money. I don't know about you, but people that don't want to work with me, it's not because, like, the instant response will be, oh, I can't afford it. It's
Mm-hmm.
never the money, it's fear. And because they're not clear on what it is they actually want their life to look like, they're
Mm-hmm.
living a life that is stagnant and it just continues on and might be up and down. And that's what they're used to. So asking them to jump into something when they're not ready, that is very, very different, because there's not many of us that do this.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be ready to do it. And that's where the block comes in, because they don't know what it is. They don't know what it is we're doing.
Right.
But when you are in that space where you are willing to do anything to make a significant, dramatic change to your life,
Mm-hmm.
and I tell you, the way I work on this, it's actually very easy. It's probably one of the easiest modalities to jump into and make a change without really having to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And once we've done that, we can really delve deep on your mindset and creating the vision, and for you, not for anybody else. And that's, as women, we do everything for everybody else. We rarely do anything for ourselves. And the benefit of doing feng shui is that it benefits everyone in your home, not just
Mm-hmm.
you. So if you've got kids that don't want to sleep in their bedrooms, if your relationship has started to deteriorate, if it can fix all of that
Mm-hmm.
once we work out what is going on. But we have to be honest with ourselves, and we have to know exactly what it is we want our life to look like. And it can be as audacious as you want. I've even got a vision board workshop. It's called My Audacious Life. And I want people to think as big as they can, because we can actually make it happen. But if you're not thinking big, then you can't even get halfway to that.
Yeah.
That's like, if you don't even think big, you get halfway. Well, that's better than where you are right now.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I love that, the audacious life. Oh my gosh, that's so powerful. Um, and you're so right, absolutely right. It's like you have to think big. And there are so many different reasons why people don't want to think big or can't think big. And you hit it right on the head when you said it was really fear in so many ways. Now, what have you experienced with some of your clients or people you've talked to? Like, what could be like some of the common roadblocks that people really are experiencing, especially in their business?
Panic.
Mm,
Panic is a big one. Um, and so a lot of women fall into working for themselves out of need.
mm,
They need to, especially if they've got kids, they need a job, but they need flexibility. So
mm,
they will jump into starting a business, whatever it might be. It might be in network marketing, it might be affiliate, it might be whatever it has to be.
mhm,
But that is also coming from a place of fear and need, and possibly desperation, because they're trying to find something to make money to support their family. So when they first start that, there's no real thought put into the why. Why am I doing this? And the why will literally be foremost to, I need to support my kids. But then they soon find that that only gets them so far. And they get in there and then they realize, well, I need a website.
mhm,
And I need my social media. And now I need clients. But I need money to do all that. So they go all in on one thing, and then everything else falls away. And in business, it has to be consistency across the board, which is where automations come in, and systems. We need systems. But when you're first starting out, you don't know that, and you haven't got the money to be able to pay for it. So what do? Well, we
mhm,
need to get the mindset correct. We need to get that solid first. And we need to, it's where the whole thinking bigger comes in. You have to look at the bigger picture. It's not about your kids, because whether you had kids or not, what would you be doing? Would you still want to be in that job? Probably not. You might want to still work for yourself. So we need to look at the bigger picture. What happens in 10 years when your kids have left home? What are you
yeah,
going to do then? What are you creating this life for? Are you creating a life so you can pay for anything whenever it comes up? Are you living this life because you love selling? You love building a community? What is your bigger picture? And that really is something that, when I look at a lot of people into the affiliate marketing space, like, I don't know how big it is in the US, but the Kangen water
mhm,
system here for affiliate marketing is huge here in Australia.
mhm,
And I see people fail in that, not because they haven't got the skills to be able to sell it, but potentially they've had to go into debt to purchase a a unit to start with. And this could be any network marketing or any affiliate marketing. They've had to go into debt. So then they're sitting in this field of panic because they've got this debt now they have to pay. Plus then there's panic that they have to sell. And then they don't want to come across as being all salesy and lose all their friendship network, because we know that's what the fear. I've been in network marketing. I know what it's like, right?
Yeah.
So why are we doing that? What do we need to do first? And so it does come down to mindset. It does come down to environment. And if you're living in a home that isn't supporting you, it will not matter how hard you try. It won't matter. If your house is in a 20-year money lock, if it's in a 12-month money lock, or if it's bad for money, you are always going to struggle. It's as simple as that. And I can look back on every house that I've lived in, and I've gone back retrospectively and looked at them and run the numbers on every house that I've lived in, and it has matched up for what has been going on in my life. Whether I've had some mental health problems, the house has been bad for people. There it is. It's telling me. So once we get that balanced and that sorted, the world is your oyster. You can create anything. Even in my last apartment that I lived in was not good for money. And oh my God, did I feel it. Even though I had it remedied, everything was a push. And I do not want to live that way. I want money to flow freely. I still have money blocks. I've been sick the last 3 months due to a frequency upgrade, and I'm having to shed all the belief systems that do not serve me anymore. So it's the universe. The only way the universe will let that happen for me is to literally physically make me hurt. I've been in pain for 3 months, and for 6 weeks I couldn't even get out of bed.
Oh, wow.
But during that time, because my mindset was so strong, I was able to look at the situation. My house was supporting me through it, and I was talking to my guides and just talking to the universe. Go, I see what you're doing here. I understand. I will sit in this pain. I will do what you need me to do to move forward. And since then, my clarity became so much clearer. I have developed products. I have put out the most amazing Black Friday deal, and it is going off. And things are just starting to flow, and I'm finding joy in what I'm doing. And that's the other thing. If you aren't enjoying what you're doing, stop doing it.
That's good.
Stop forcing it, because it's not going to help you. Which is, when we're in a job and we hate it and we hate going to work. That's why, because we're enjoying it. You have to do what you love.
And that is so important, doing what you love. And I just love the correlation with what you're referring to, because a lot of times when people think about feng shui, I mean, it's more on the interior side of things, not much of the energy, balancing out things and putting things in the right places and all the things that comes with it. I know I joke around a lot, and I would say, oh, I'm a feng shui type of person. I just, you organize your desk or your area a certain way, or, your home, you're cleaning and all this other stuff, and it just feels good. Or like when you drive in your car, you clean your car out and it's like it drives better, like all these different things. And, I look at it as a way of order as well. When I tell people I'm a feng shui type of person, I like things a certain way, especially in planning. I used to plan a lot of events, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, you guys, that's just it could have been OCD, who knows? But I was like, it has to have balance for it to feel right. And and so when I look at it from that perspective, and I learn a lot about what you're doing and how you're applying it to business, and it makes so much sense, because it's things that we never thought about, but when you really do apply it and listening to everything you're saying so far, it's like, wow, it really does make sense. Okay, so how can we open up more to receive more? We learn it on one end, but then when we see that balance as far as everything, including our homes or our office, whatever there is that's attached to you, that order has to come all the way around. And, so what would be some steps, in what people would need to get things turned around if they're in that type of chaotic state, or money is not flowing right, the business is still kind of off-centered? What are some steps they need to do to turn it around?
Okay, so I can certainly give you some tips to turn your office into an ATM. because as business people, that's where we spend a lot of our time, in our office.
Yes.
So the first thing I want people to, because I know there's a lot of women watching this, is, lady, you need to start treating yourself like a Forbes 500 CEO. Simple as that. Stop working from your dining table. Stop making do, and start taking yourself seriously, because you are a CEO. You are a CEO of your business. So start acting like one. So you would not see a big financial CEO, one of the big 500 companies around the world, sitting at their dining table doing a Zoom. Yeah. There's no way they would be doing that. So get yourself a desk and get yourself a solid desk and set it up in an area that you can call your office. Now, I understand that not everyone can have a separate room for an office. So find a space that you can then block off as your office space. When you go to that desk, you are at work. It's as simple as that. You can't, you're not moving your bunch of paperwork and your laptop off the dining table at dinner time to put it on the bench and then back, right? You need a dedicated office space. Get yourself a sturdy desk, not one that's going to be flimsy or only that wide. We want a substantial size desk that you can grow into and that is going to support you. Furthermore, you need a supportive chair. So you need one with a high back. There's a number of reasons for this, but again, you're not going to see a CEO sitting on the dining chair. They're going to have a big boss chair, right? That swivels and is ergonomic and supports them, and it's literally for that support. It's an energetic and physical ergonomic support. It's something supporting you from behind, and that's what you're going to need. Having a solid wall behind you is also incredibly important. There's a number of reasons for that. Again, for support, nothing can creep up behind you. So if you've got yourself set up in an area where your back is to the door, and you might have headphones in, and one of your kids comes in, taps you on the shoulder, it is going to scare the absolute shit out of you, and that is going to distract you from what you're trying to do, right? You want to see what's coming towards you. So being able to see either peripherally or directly in front, the door in front of you, is really, really important. If you can't do that, then get a little mirror and put it on your desk, reflecting the door, so you can still see the door. And I'll give you a couple of examples of what can happen when you don't do this. If your desk is wedged up into a corner with a wall in front of you, then it's like you're coming up against like a brick wall. Like things will really struggle. But also, if you can't see from behind, literally things will creep up on you. And it could be a financial, it could be taxes, it could be a legal problem, just unexplained challenges will start coming in because you literally can't see them coming. Right. You've got no clear view, right? So put the mirror on your desk. The other thing is, when it comes to declutter, if you're a person, and I used to be this person, if you were a person that has that pile of paperwork that sits there, I'll deal with that. I'll deal with that. I'll deal with that. And you say that to yourself every day for 6 months, and you still haven't dealt with it, but you move them from one side of the desk to the other. That is a subconscious block, and it is causing you anxiety that you don't know is there.
Wow.
So deal with it. Deal with it. Go through everything. Throw anything out that you do not need. If there's taxes you need to do them. If there's a response to an email you need to make it. You've got to deal with the stuff in front of you, because you don't, it creates those subconscious blocks.
Wow. And
it really does. And then you need to set that intention and the vision for what you want your business to look like. So if you have any certificates, if you've got a degree, put your certificates up in front of you. You are that subject matter expert. You know what you're doing. If you've got any memberships to any associations, put them up on the wall. You are the expert. And you put things like your family photos in your office as well. You're doing it for whatever reason you're doing it. That's your reminder. Could be your dog. Could be a cat. could be kids, could be husband.
Right.
But that's a little reminder that you have there to remind you why you're doing what you're doing. And then the last thing is you must have a vision. And the vision needs to encompass every aspect of your life, because if you don't, it will take over, and that's where everything else will fall down around you. So I see it so often with female entrepreneurs that have got the family and that they have started the business because of need.
Yeah.
And now they're still up at 10 o'clock at night. And the husband's starting to get titchy because he's getting no attention. The romance is lacking from the relationship. Your kids are cranky because you're not going to the school sports day or going to their, you haven't got time to go to any of their performances or any of the sport. Everything starts falling around. The kids stop sleeping. You're getting stressed, and the groceries haven't been done, and the washing hasn't been done. There's no balance. When you decide exactly what you want your business to look like, and you then know, well, I now need systems in place. And these are my 5 pillars that I have focused in my business, and this is where I focus my social media around, and these are my values. And when you know all of that, then success starts to come, because you're not just grabbing hold of thin air. You've got something tangible to hold on to, and you can go back to it every single time. Without knowing that, and you've got to keep revisiting this stuff. This isn't just set and forget.
Yeah.
Things change. I look at my business from when I first started to what it is now. And, I when I first started, I instantly went into this, I can help everybody.
Yeah.
And I can do this, and I can do that. Now I'm like, I don't want to do that. And, you get into this desperation where you negotiate with people on prices, and I don't do that. These are my prices. I've had clients of mine. I've literally just moved into a subscription model for my business, because ongoing support and having someone to vent to is so important, and not many people actually offer that. So that's what I offer with my program. And you can vent about anything. I don't care. And I've had clients for me for 4 years who now they have to go on a subscription, who haven't been using the support that I offer, mind you. When they do come to me every 6 months and there's a drama, I'm like, well, we could have sorted this out 5 months ago if you'd actually had a conversation with me. They've decided, oh, no, I don't want to do that.
Wow.
Okay, then, best of luck to you. Farewell. I'm here when you need me again.
Yeah.
I had one client only the other week to say, oh, I've only budgeted to work with you for 6 months, so I'm pulling out. Okay, just bear in mind that in February, you'll have to pay, because it was $60 a month for them, but now it's gone up to $72. You'll have to pay $72 a month when you need a new report in February.
Right.
Oh, I'll still cancel anyway. Okay, see you later. I'm not here to negotiate.
Right.
I know the value I offer. I know what the results I get for people when they do the work, and I'm here to support them through that. But that's my responsibility and my boundaries. And for a very long time, I did not adhere to my boundaries.
Yeah.
And I was available 24/7, and that's not healthy, because they weren't paying for that under my old model. They were not paying for that support, but I was giving it to them anyway. So when you become very clear on everything, pricing, relationships, your offer, things just start to flow. And it took me a long time to get to that point. But now I'm super clear, and now I'm moving into another level of collaboration with other modalities and other services, because I know what I do will be able to service their customers as well, where we're doing something very different. So you have to get to a certain point, you have to be very clear, and then you revisit it. And then you go to the next level, and then you revisit it. It just evolves. But you have to be ready for that, and you have to understand that is what is naturally going to happen.
Wow, that's really good, because it's ever changing. You're always evolving, and even with this here, and I know that the women who are watching, and they could probably say, they've been in business for a long time or anything like that. We could be experienced, but one thing I always believe is, you can always learn something different. in
Yeah.
something new. And I'm listening right now and I'm sitting here calculating, okay, yeah, what stack do I need to clear out? And what do I need
Yeah.
to change and shift? But it makes so much sense. And it's like when when things around you feel good, everything is open up for you to receive
Yeah.
even more. And, when we're doing it within ourselves, within our environment, as I mentioned before, it really does take the lid off and everything can come in its right place. And,
Yeah.
you've dropped so many great nuggets in the tips. And I'm so glad that we're here today because, like I said before, as we're closing out this year, and this is the time frame people are, after the holidays, the first thing they're starting to do is, oh, on the physical scale, it's like, oh, I gotta clean out my closet, I gotta do this and do that.
Yeah.
But, that's for your house, whatever. But then on the flip side, for your business, especially if you're working from home, you have to look at that as well. What to clear out, how to rearrange things, what to set you, understanding even your vision, because like you said, everything shifts. And it doesn't have to be, a timeline specific. It could be just when it shifts and when that happens, but you have to be ready to go for that next level and revisit it. And
Yeah.
this is very, very good because I'm sitting here thinking about what I need to revisit right now. So I really do appreciate this conversation. Now, I know you say you have like their Black Friday deal. Is there anything that
Yeah.
you want to talk about with that?
Yeah, so normally to join my program, so I obviously I'm in Australia, so I charge Australian dollars. So it's really beneficial if you're in the US because our exchange is so rubbish.
Mhm.
So I normally charge 555 to join my program and then your choice of subscription. But I've dropped that joining fee down to $197. So you can literally get started and get your house feng shuied for $197, or what it'd probably be at 120 US, 130 US,
Okay.
which is ridiculous. And you get the ongoing support from me and a suite of other courses and products. Like I was talking about the Audacious Life, you get access to that workshop, which that's normally nearly $90 anyway.
Mhm.
And everything, heap of meditations that I've recorded that I find very beneficial to move through your healing. So this isn't just about balancing your house. This
Mhm.
is literally the base,
Yeah.
and we add on from there. So over the next 20 years, we have just moved into cycle 9, which
Mhm.
is about if you're on TikTok, you'll be seeing it everywhere. We have just moved into the age of Aquarius,
Yeah.
and it is about the female rising.
Mm.
And it is going to be incredibly important that we start doing the inner work and healing on ourselves, on
Mhm.
our past lives, so we can step into that feminine energy, because we are going to be the leaders over the next 20 years. We are going to see more females stepping up into those leadership roles.
Mhm.
And if we don't do the work, if you're just ignoring it, if you're coming from a place of victimhood, and you can't take responsibility for anything, you will be left behind. So it is really, really important that you look at all healing modalities,
Mm.
counseling, Reiki, kinesiology, breath work, inner child work. For
Mhm.
us to grow and us to step into that power, we have to do the healing. It's basically Wonder Woman. That's what we're moving into. So, in Wonder Woman's Island, whatever it's called,
Yeah.
they have to do that work, not talking about, we don't have to learn how to fight, we don't have to do that. You can, it's
Right.
completely up to you. If you want to go and do boxing or being MMA, that's completely your jam, that's fine.
Yeah.
But we have to step in that massive, like, female energy, feminine energy. And we're seeing it already.
Mhm.
The females are rising. We're not taking the shit anymore.
Yeah.
But we need to remove all the hurt and pain and ancestral trauma
Yeah.
for us to step into that. So
That's
as
good.
far as I'm concerned, go and do these modalities, but if you're coming home to a home that's not balanced and supporting
Mhm.
you, you're not
Mhm.
doing the work, because you're still going to have those problems in your environment and you spend so much time in it. It's super important.
Wow. This is so amazing and so awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And we want to make sure that you have the links and everything in the show notes. So for everyone to get involved and get into the membership and take advantage of the Black Friday special. That's like the
Yeah,
perfect timing right now,
yeah,
everybody. And and I love the fact that we have to set those intentions, and along with being so intentional about the healing process, the balances, the boundaries, everything, because even when I'm thinking about even going into next year, even for myself, I'm like, okay, what's my next level of intentionality?
yeah,
What am I going to be more intentional about that I wasn't in my business before in this year? Because I know there's a whole different level to embrace.
yeah,
So I tell people all the time, like when you really feel that in you, that's a shift ready to happen for you, but you have to be
yeah,
ready. And I just know everyone who's watching this particular, interview right now, this is the thing that's going to help you set it in
yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you want to come on my retreat in Bali next year, you
Ooh.
can bring a friend. I've got 2 Black Fridays. You can bring a friend for half price.
Okay.
So yeah, I've got an amazing retreat in Bali in March. So
All right, guys.
which is all
Bali.
about transformation and moving into 2025, which is the year of the snake, which is about transformation.
Mm,
It's going to be epic.
wow. All right, guys. You hear that transformation? So I really appreciate this so much. Thank you for once again coming back with this bonus for National Entrepreneurship Month. Like I said, everybody, you've seen Suzanne before. She was with us for the Biz Her Way Summit for National Women's Business Month. But hey, we got another month for celebrating entrepreneurship. And so we're back again. And like I said, we want you guys to be educated. We want you to be empowered. We want you to finish this year off right and then go into the new year, go into your next levels, everything there is. And I want you to grab it all and get everything that is for you out there in this world. So
Because
thank
you
you again.
deserve it.
Yes. Key points. Yes, you definitely deserve it. And so thank you so much, Suzanne. Any
My
final words
pleasure.